What if I told you there's an invisible tax you're paying every single day? The entrepreneur Alex Hormozy frames it perfectly. He says, if you make $200,000 a year, but you could make 1 million with the right knowledge, you're essentially paying an $800,000 tax every year for not knowing. This is your ignorance debt, and it's compounding daily. Step back and let that sink in for a minute. Ignorance debt. What we don't know is costing us in real dollars, but beyond that, it's costing us in how we spend our days, our time, our energy, quality experiences with family, our health. Because of what you don't know, it's costing you big time. And I say that about myself as much as everyone else here. And shortcutting here, the environment that we're in is what determines what we know and what we don't know. So if you're glued firmly to one environment, is really limiting what you're capable of and what your potential is. And what do I mean by environment? Well, think of it like the industry you're in, the company you're in, your colleagues, what you read, your social media feed, your friends and family. All of that essentially accounts for your environment. And if you step back, you probably guess that you've been in the same type of environment for some period of time and you feel like you're hitting your head on a ceiling. You're meant for more, but you don't know what, and it creates some frustration. Truth is, your brain can only want what it's seen before, right? Our vision limits our results. And we need to be thoughtful about creating a new situation so that we can expand our vision and start doing different things. So we stop paying this insane ignorance debt. I'll give a few stories personally and professionally about me to make this a bit more real. So I was in what I'd call an abusive marriage for the first few years of my adult life. I got married at 24. We had 3 kids by the time I was 28, and it was not a good fit. And I was just in fear every single day. It felt awful going home, and I always felt like I was in trouble. And it was a very terrible situation to be in. And growing up, the values I had were adapted from my environment, of course. I thought I just had to grit and bear, keep going through all of that and just suck it up for life. Accept it. This is the situation I got myself in. Just keep going, keep your head down. Well, something happened and I changed my environment. Everything changed when I changed my environment. I met this amazing therapist named Carly. She helped me expand into all new modes of thinking and ideas. She got me into reading philosophy, psychology, personal development work, and I was never a reader before that. But she got me feeling empowered, excited about new possibilities, that thriving outside of that marriage, which I thought was a life sentence, was actually possible. And I found ways to get there and even ended up saying goodbye to that marriage because it was not a good fit for either of us. It was a toxic situation. And on the outside, I could be a better dad to my kids. So I had to make that hard decision, all on the other side of putting myself in a new environment. But I didn't know anything else until I put myself in that environment. I was paying a huge tax of feeling miserable for years. Now, another one would be in my corporate life. I talk about this one all the time. I was in that space for 15 years in management consulting, and I was good at it. Climbed the ladder, played the politics, got promotions, earned great money, but ultimately that's all I could see. And then somehow, some way, after the feelings of pain and misery and limitation started creeping in and the effects it was having on my health and my family, I was like, I'm meant for more. I don't know what that is. So I put myself, for some reason, in a different environment. In this case, I signed up for an entrepreneurial mastermind to be around these amazing business owners that were using their greatest strengths and talents and fusing that into businesses to serve people they cared about in this world. And they were having these amazing, like first class lifestyles of ways of making money and feeling alive and excited and purposeful. I was like, oh my God, I want to be like them. I don't know how to be like them. I was the only corporate person in that entire room that I would go to once a quarter. I felt completely out of place until I didn't, because I started to resonate with this and I knew that I had to go on that path. I chose a different environment. I started to pay down my ignorance debt by becoming more knowledgeable, more aligned to a future that felt right for me. And the resistance started fading and I knew I could start taking action. And into that future, I hired coaches. I've had 16 or 17 at this point. I've been in so many programs and masterminds that help spur my entrepreneurial future to build new skills, take new action. Effectively left corporate 3 years ago at this point in early 2022. And the journey since then, it's been like this amazing ride. I feel more alive and excited than ever. And I feel like I've got this dream life that I never even saw coming because I was paying down my ignorance debt. I've spent hundreds of thousands of dollars on myself. No, let me correct. I haven't spent, I invested that in myself because I knew I was worth it and I am the greatest asset, not some real estate or stock portfolio thing. But I knew by putting myself in new environments, that was where the greatest change in my life trajectory could take place. So you've got to ask yourself, what sort of environment are you in right now? And how do you dislodge from it? Because you're probably done with it. You've probably outgrown it. You need different results and you're paying huge ignorance debt by not knowing. There are staggering costs to not knowing what you don't know. When you stay firmly where you are and it feels safe and secure, I get it. That's just your primal instincts taking over. It's about putting yourself in a new situation, new environments. We have this in Uncaged Life Design, right? This is our program that we run for people trying to graduate corporate life in a hurry, take their day job, put it in a box, free themselves up, feel alive now, and then building an authentic premium business online for people they care about. That's a new environment that dozens of people are putting themselves in at any given time to dislodge from the old life and say yes to a new chapter. So you got to ask yourself, what sort of ignorance debt are you paying right now? Will you continue to incur those costs, knowing it's more than financial, but it's also your health, your happiness, your family life? All of that is at stake. And if you started to take decisive action now, what sort of new trajectory could you set yourself up for? What could you do by putting yourself in a new environment to start paying down these insane ignorance costs that don't need to be there? Start investing in yourself, in your future, and really start to feel empowered. And frankly, hang around some people that are acting this way because it will completely alter how you think, how you act, how you behave every single day. This changed my life completely. If you need help, jump on over to matthewdoan.com. We've got resources there, of course. Free masterclass. If you want to book a call with us on if Uncaged Life Design can be a fit, you can do all of that there. But please take a critical look because you and I are always incurring these huge costs of not knowing. Let's get rid of that ignorance debt. Let's close that. Let's start to put ourselves in environments that really catapult us into our potential. I'll leave it at that. If I can help, reach out. We will chat soon.